back in Bethea's garden and we're doing a really fun project this morning. We're going to inoculate this great big oak log here with mushroom spores so we can grow our own mushrooms. And it's pretty easy to do. You can definitely do this at home if you have access to some tree logs. It doesn't have to be oak. We have lots of oak here, and that is the preferred variety of wood for most mushroom species, but you can go online and look at the different types of wood that work well. There are some woods that don't work well at all, so you want to avoid those, but if you have oak logs like we do, we have tons of beautiful live oak trees here, and inadvertently we always have some limbs that come down during storms. And we have to dispose of those in different ways, so we try and find different ways to use them, and I thought growing our own mushrooms would be a really fun one. So what do you need to do this? Well, you're going to need a big oak log, and it needs to be in good shape. It can't have started to rot already. You want it with a good bark still on there and really good structure to the wood. If it's starting to rot, that means that there's fungi already in the wood, and fungi are very competitive, and they might kill your mushroom spores, and then you'll just get a rotty log and have wasted your mushroom spores. So you don't want to do that. So you need a big oak log. It doesn't have to be this big by any means, but anything bigger than about 6 inches in diameter around will work just fine. You're going to need a drill with probably about a 5/16 drill bit. That's what the company that I got our mushroom spores from recommended to use. And you're going to need some mushroom spores, and you're going to need some wax that you can melt down to seal the plug after you've put the plug in. We have tons of wax here at Brookgreen as well. We've got all these wax shavings here. We have Night of 1,000 Candles, and if you've never been, you should make your plans now to come. It's a lot more than 1,000 candles, so we have tons of wax we can use for this project. So you've drilled all the holes in your log and you're ready to actually get to putting the mushrooms spores into it. And what I got from Sharondale Mushroom Farms were these oak, or I think they're oak, dowels with the spiral cuts all over the dowel. And they've been inoculated with that white stuff you see is the mushroom spore that they've put on there. And it's really easy. Once you've drilled the holes, you just poke the little, whoops, not that hole. You poke the little dowel right into the hole like that. You might want to get a stick and really, poke it in there really well. And then you get your melted wax. Some places say you can use sawdust, but I mean, we got so much wax here that, and it's warm, but it's not hot. And I'm just going to kind of pack it in there and close up those holes to keep those all nice and happy in there. And then once I've got this all covered, it's not going to be so very pretty for a little while because it's going to have all this wax on it. You want to make sure that you, after you've gotten all your spores plugs into the log, you want to make sure that the log doesn't dry out completely, because in there you want that moisture to grow that fungi and create the mushrooms. The mushrooms will start to break down the log, and they say that for every inch of diameter of log you have, that's a year of mushroom production that you're going to get. So we're going to get a lot of years of mushroom production out of this great big log here. There's some other things you want to take into consideration as well. Certain types of mushrooms like a lot of ground contact, like this log has a lot of ground contact. So oyster, reishi, and lion's mane like a lot of ground contact, but other varieties like shiitake or woodier, they want less ground contact, so you might want to set it up like I've set this log up over here, so it's just, kind of up off the ground and gets a little more air. The last thing you want to consider is where you put it. Maybe you're going to really want to put it next to a hose so that you can douse it every now and then if you get a long dry spell. So good luck with your mushrooms, and we'll see you back here when ours start to grow.